So Drake has decided to withdraw his Grammy nominations. Sounds like something I would do. We're going live from the underground. Come on. Okay. I guess the intro's not gonna work today. That's different. But alright. So a news article just came out on the waiver, talking about how Drake has, man, I'm having a lot of computer issues right now, bro. But Drake has seemingly decided to withdraw his Grammy nominations for the year. Honestly, don't feel as though the songs that he had actually were deserving of it, and I think they snubbed the actual album. Well, he only had 2 Grammy nominations. Well, the thing that's interesting about this is the fact that Drake is a lot like me in a lot of sense when it comes to, he doesn't like the Grammys either because they do not represent hip-hop music as it should be. They don't represent the new generation of music, point blank, period. Instead, like, when hip-hop is the #1 most streamed, #1 most listened to, best music that there is of a generation, you dig? Like, people, by the numbers of who's streaming what, you can determine how many people are listening to what. And when hip-hop has been year in and year out the best, then hip-hop should be getting a lot more recognition than what it is actually getting. You feel me? It should be getting a lot more recognition, a lot more wins, a lot more awards and things of this nature, but opinion-based sport, as Drake said. But let's go ahead and read this article that was in the Variety. It says, Drake withdraws his 2021 Grammy nominations. As it's a very, very interesting read. So, Drake has withdrawn his 2 2022 Grammy nominations. A rep for the Recording Academy has confirmed it to Variety. Reps for Drake did not immediately respond to the request of a comment. Sources tell Variety that the decision was made by Drake and his management, and the Grammys honored the request, although his motivation was unclear at the time at the article's publication. Drake was one of 5 nominees for Best Rap Album for Certified Lover Boy, and for Best Rap Performance for his song Way Too Sexy, which, Now, okay, Certified Lover Boy, I can see it. Way Too Sexy, no. Rather than giving a nomination to the recipients of the 6 most votes, as the Academy did when it suddenly decided to expand the top 4 categories to 8 to 10 last month, the voting for these two rap categories will go forward just for the voting for these 2 rap categories will go forward with just 4 nominees. Presumably because the voting period already has begun. Grammy ballots were posted for voting members on Monday morning. So basically, it's too late for them to bring anybody else. Since Drake gonna go ahead and do this, we're just gonna do 4 people, 4 nominations for each category that Drake was already in. Grammy nominations must be submitted by a representative, usually the artist's record label, and if an artist does not want their music to be considered, the label simply does not submit it. The decision to remove a Grammy nomination at this later stage, after it has already been submitted and announced, let alone on the day the ballots are posted, may be unprecedented. Which, I mean, could be. I've never heard of this before myself. Drake's choices, however, While it is uncertain whether he chose not to submit the Blockbuster's Certified Lover Boy or any songs from it for the big categories, album, song, or record of the year, his absence from any of these categories on even the preliminary ballot distributed to voters, which includes thousands of releases, seems to suggest he did not. He clearly did choose to submit and was nominated for 2 rap categories. He was withdrawn, which is very interesting right there. Like, why even submit if you were going to withdraw? Why do you even care? That lets you know that there's more going on. And Drake is not signed to Cash Money no more. Drake is signed. He got his own label at this point, so he is determining all the things that he wants to do. Now, I know he's not Is he signed to himself? Let me pull it up. Hold up. Don't do that. Where is... As Drake is signed to Republic Records. Republic of the UMG. So, I mean, yeah, Republic and UMG probably distributed it without Drake's approval at that moment. Even though Drake is the head of the label, usually it goes without saying that you would want your awards. So, I can see Republic or UMG doing it. But, okay, let's continue. Some have speculated that his decision might have had something to do with him being named in the lawsuit surrounding the tragedy at Astroworld Festival in Houston last month, where 10 people died when the crowd rampaged during the headliner Travis Scott's set, which featured a guest appearance from Drake. However, Drake is scheduled to perform with Kanye West at the Free Lil Hoover benefit concert in Los Angeles on Thursday, so that explanation feels unlikely. So these people clearly don't understand that, you know, Drake and Kanye is being handcuffed to this by the streets. That has nothing to do with anything. Now, Drake could not want to be performing and be at the Grammys because of that. Because of the attention of all this that he got, that's going to come his way. But yet, when the streets come calling for you to perform at this show, and Kanye is getting his hands twisted into doing it, it wouldn't be too far of a stretch that his hands would be stretched into doing it too, regardless of whatever. So, this Free Lil Hoover concert is something different. That's nothing like the Grammys. But anyway. Drake has had a long and at times continuous relationship with the Grammys. A year ago, he called them to be replaced with something new that we can build up over time and pass on to the generations to come, after it failed to recognize his peer and fellow Canadian artist The Weeknd in any of his 2021 categories, despite him having one of the top albums and singles of 2020. And I feel that. That's where I be saying, you know, you cannot tie everything that you want to. You cannot feel that these people at the Grammys know what they're talking about. Like, The Weeknd is hot, man. The Weeknd has always been hot. The Weeknd's delivered a lot of quality music. And for him to not at least be nominated, like, that goes to show you how much these people actually follow the culture and actually care. And Drake actually was calling them out like I've been calling them out for years. Quote, I think we should stop allowing ourselves to be shocked every year by the disconnect between impactful music and these awards, and just accept that what once was the highest form of recognition may no longer matter to the artists that exist now and the ones that come after. He wrote this in his Instagram story, Drake. It's like a relative you keep expecting to fix up, but they won't change their ways. These are quotes again. It's like, quote, it's like the relative you keep expecting to fix up, but they just won't change their ways. The other day I said The Weeknd was a lock for either album or song of the year, along with countless other reasonable assumptions. And it just never goes that way. This is a great time for somebody to start something new that we can build up over time and pass on to generations to come. And I feel that. I mean, how many years after year after year have we seen it? Like just last year, it was Freddie Gibbs got snubbed for an award that and I mean, they gave it to Nas, respect to Nas, but that was more of a, we haven't given Nas anything. Was it ever? Or that may have been Nas's first Grammy. So there's like, we got to give him something, even though the album wasn't as good as what was jumping off in the music for that period of time. But no hate. I'm happy Nas got his, and I'm glad Freddie Gibbs got his nomination. But that's kind of whack, though. In 2017, he declined to submit his album More Life for any of the 2018 Grammy Awards, even though it qualified and ran around that year's show intensified. And the run around that year's show intensified after Jay-Z won no awards despite being nominated for 8. Whew. And I mean, wasn't a big fan of Jay-Z's project, but when the people are speaking, the Academy should be at least responding. You feel me? They should actually know what's going on with all of this stuff so that they don't get the shade thrown at them like that. Like, not one, when everybody is saying that Jay-Z should win one. And, I wasn't a big fan of that Jay-Z album to begin with. Drake also threw shade at the Grammys at his acceptance speech in 2019 when God's Plan won Best Song. The awards show producers cut off his mic after he claimed the awards hold no value. Like, I mean, yes, he's throwing shade at you, but, there's such thing as freedom of speech in America, right? He's on the stage with the microphone and you're going to cut off the biggest artist of an entire generation, if not multiple generations at this time, still going strong. You cut off his mic and you think he's not going to dislike you. Okay. We play an opinion-based sport, not a factual-based sport. He said on the stage, this was his Grammy sport. You already won if people are singing your songs word for word. If they're singing in your hometown, you're already winning. You don't need this right here. And that's facts. And I respect that type of commentary. I 1000 support that type of commentary. Like, the key to the music industry for you as an individual, something that people need to get over is the glitz and glamour. Like, you need to win. And how you win is having all people enjoying your music and getting paid for your music, getting the right record deals so that you can go ahead and get your money, or actually owning your own masters, owning your own stuff and putting it out there on your own and being super successful, making the most amount of money that you possibly can. That's how you win. Being up on here getting these awards look nice. It looks good for a day or so. People actually enjoy to watch these and hype it up. But yet they use these as their motivation to actually get into the music industry, which is the wrong move to do. These awards only happen once a year. And the power from winning these awards, you actually can get more bargaining power for when it comes time for you to renegotiate and all that stuff, which that's cool. But at the end of the day, these things do not dictate how hard you're going to go. You got to have that drive within you that you're doing it every day, all day, not so much so that you can win these. But let's continue. However, Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. has made a strong and conceited effort to overhaul some of the Academy procedures and the staff to effectively clean up the organization's act in the wake of years of accusations of insider deals and self-interest. How many years must people accuse them of this before they actually realize it's an actual thing. But they never come out. Until they get caught red-handed with it, where it's still going on to this day, I feel. But until they get caught red-handed with it, or somebody admits to it on their deathbed or something, which they never do, then, you know, they just keep it like you pay to get Grammys, dude. Record labels pay. The amount of money that the labels need, like, okay, whenever an artist wins at a Grammy Award, what happens? Everybody's like, oh, let me go ahead and listen to that because that's clearly was the best album of the year, and I don't follow music like that. Like, most people don't follow music every day like I follow music every day. Instead, people find individuals who follow music every day, and then whenever they release the top lists of movies to watch, or whenever they list the top albums to listen to, or whenever the Grammys come out and give the Grammys to, that's who they determine who they should listen to. But what's the point of listening to the Grammys if the record labels are paying them for this, because the money that surrounded all of this is pretty massive, especially when your streams are going to jump up like 1,000% just by getting on stage and doing a performance, and just by winning something, and your award speech is pretty good. The money tied into this is way too much to deny. And the Academy is only but so many people. They don't list all of these people per se, but yet there's only like a handful of people from what I hear. So these people can be bribed. They know who they are. We just don't know who they are. Just weeks after the 2021 awards, the Academy announced that it's eliminating the secret nomination review committees that for decades had curated the final list of nominees, which is good. And although some cried foul when the Academy abruptly expanded the nominees for Best Album, Song, and Record and New Artists from 8 to 10 last month, Mason insisted it was a decision that had long been in the works that the Academy executives and the board members saw an opportunity to finalize, although some suggest it was done to ensure that Taylor Swift, who had no other awards in 2022, got one. More will come from this as this story develops. So yes, that's kind of whack, don't you think? This whole formula of, okay, we're going to have a group of people, only a handful of people that everyone in the industry knows, have them decide who's going to win these awards. And when you win these awards, because nobody listens to music outside of what these people say, therefore, history and music, it gets swayed into whole nother areas. Like when you win a Grammy Award, you get tenfold more people actually listening to your stuff. So therefore, there is a monetary benefit to this. Before, it would be your album sales would all the way jump up so high. That's why they would buy up, record labels would buy up these Grammys. Now, with the streams being what they are, like, it's so much easier for people to listen to stuff. So if you get that kind of promotion from the Grammy Awards that people are going to watch, it would actually pay off in the long run so much more. So these people are going to get bribed. It's called, well, this is bribery. Payola is when the airways of the radio stations get bribed. But it's all bribes. That's all that the music industry is. That's why you hear the same 10 songs on the radio every half an hour. They get bribed to do that. They get paid. Record labels pay for that. Why do you see, as Drake say, a disconnect between who people feel as though is the impactful artist of the time and who actually wins the awards? It's how much money got paid all the way through. That and the fact that these that the Grammy Awards, these people wouldn't know great hip hop music if it slapped them in the face. You feel me? Like, these people in the committees, we don't know who they are, but I can guarantee you it ain't nobody 18 to 25. People who are currently in the mix of everything that, see, how is it you can have your music on your record label be focused on children? Like, when you see what Lil Nas X and all these record labels and all that, like all these new artists that's coming out, they gear and focus all of it towards the youth, towards children. Why is it when you look at these lists of the Grammy Award nominees and all that stuff, it just feels like some old white person in the boardroom just selected whoever they wanted to select or whoever they got paid the most to select? Why is it that it feels that way? Like, how is it that the game is a young man's sport, as everyone likes to say, from the top of the music industry to the record labels, to everybody involved? Everybody want to say it's a young man's sport. But yet, when it comes time to give recognition to people, it's the old people who giving you the recognition. Like, if it's the young man's game, then the young men need to be able to determine who is it that's having the biggest impact, right? Doesn't that make any kind of common sense? Or am I tripping? Honestly, I feel as though the whole fundamental premise behind the Grammy Awards is flawed. And Drake sees this. Now, given Drake has won his fair share over the time, so it doesn't really... See, Drake is the only artist that's really in the position to do this, to tone down Grammy Awards, because he doesn't have to negotiate no more. He got... Man, he's going to sell millions upon millions and sell out shows and all of that stuff regardless. You dig? None of that actually matters at all. So, with him in this position, why not make a statement? Why not, like, yo, I don't rock with the Grammys. I haven't rocked with the Grammys for a minute, so I'm just going to withdraw. I hope other people who deserve, or other people who are deserving, or other people who actually want it bad enough get it, because they need it more than he does, which is facts. Now, could it be an attempt to go ahead and change the news around the whole Astro World fiasco? Could be. I mean, I don't think, as I said, him performing with Kanye, that's something different. See, Drake could easily be stopping his performances until all of the dust has settled and all of the lawsuits and things of that. Like, I've been seeing ridiculous numbers of lawsuits being played around out there. Like, people been saying multiple billions of dollars they're trying to sue, and Travis Scott already lawyered up. He's not saying anything else about it, which is good, because he did have like a representative do like the dumbest thing. Like, she came out in the news cycle saying, oh, Travis Scott takes full responsibility so that we can do better and everybody move on better. No, you never have any representative come out in the news talk about how you take full responsibility for something that clearly wasn't 100% your fault. Like, security was done by the police. So therefore, the police should have ensured that these syringes or whatever these things that they was claiming shouldn't have came into the whole spot. You feel me? That's one. Two, Travis Scott definitely should have stopped the music. He should have done that. He should have stopped the music, made sure everybody is okay. He was not thinking at the moment. He was not thinking, and he's not a good performer. If by doing, like, good performers know, like, whenever violence or anything breaks out, you got to de-escalate it as a performer. Like when we seen the fight break out at the versus battle, that Swiss Beats seems to be very upset about, sending out messages like, yo, these people showed up drunk, they showed up late, they charged me so much more than a normal show. They charge so much, as if they was doing sold out shows worldwide. And I think he's talking about Busy Bone and all that stuff. I'm pretty, well, we all know 3 6 Mafia was lit too. But something about, like, Bone Thugs and that diva attitude, man. And it's not Bone Thugs, it's Busy Bone. But it is what it is. But when that fight broke out, notice the music stopped. The show stopped. Gangsta Boo was on the phone like, what is you doing? You just ruined the whole show. What is the matter with you? But then, you know, Busy Bone's whole management team like, oh, you ain't did nothing wrong. This is hip hop. This is how you going. Like, that's why he does this type of stuff. Y'all keep on catering to him. Y'all keep letting him get away with this stuff. Y'all let him get away with it his entire career. And y'all let him get away with it even though he's washed up. But that's besides the point. Right now, the point is they tried to de-escalate it even though they got into fight and all that stuff, but they de-escalated it and they were able to bring it back even though there was nothing major that happened to it, thank God. That's what Travis Scott should have did, but he didn't. So all of that can be held, like, even though Drake was just a feature, honestly, Drake had nothing to do with any of this, but they're trying to throw his name in the mud because he got money and his name was part of this. So it would not shock me if Drake is just not doing performances. He's going to do the Kanye and Drake performance because the streets is forcing that one through. They don't care. But Drake could easily just be like, yo, I'm not doing these because the streets is hot right now. It is what it is. How do I get back? There we go. But then it also could be the boycott. You feel me? Like, when I went over the list of the Grammy nominations, I was telling you guys how disappointed I was at it. I was showing you, like, these are the people that should win, and if they don't win, I'm gonna be super like, if Silk Sonic don't sweep a lot of these Grammys, I could care less more. Like, I couldn't care any more about the Grammys. But if Silk Sonic don't sweep it, this might be one of my last years actually even caring to even report on it. Maybe. Probably not, because this is like, at this time, this is usually like the only thing that's popping. But I'll try to do less because the Grammys clearly don't know what they doing, clearly don't know what they talking about. Grammys is clearly trash, fam. This could be a statement by Drake. Like, he's made the statement while he was on stage. Like, how many times he got to make this statement that the Grammys is full of crap? How many times does he have to do this? And yes, even though this article was saying, yes, Drake did as an individual put his music and stuff in there. Did he? It's not like, he's not completely independent. He's not Tech 9. See, Tech 9 completely determines when his music goes anywhere because he owns the masters, he owns the royalties, he does the promotion. He's the one who puts up the money for it. It would not shock me if Republic, who is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group, if one of those two labels didn't understand that Drake is on some F the Grammy stuff for a minute. One of them two labels could have just, oh yeah, Drake clearly will want to get this award and we want to get the benefits of this award. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in there without Drake's approval to begin with. That could happen. There's so many people within these labels, man, that miscommunications do happen. How do you think artists who are signed to major labels and all that stuff, they tend to be like, yo, these people really ain't promoting me. These people really ain't doing as much for me as I hoped that they would. These people really aren't doing much for me in the grand scheme of everything that I want in this life. Everyone has their own point of view on where an individual's career should go, what they should do with their career, if an individual should be in the Grammys or not. Drake, who's the guy who everyone should talk to about this, who's the number one person with the music, it doesn't necessarily mean that he was the one consulted to actually put everything forth to begin with. It could also be, okay, y'all only nominating me for 2 awards? Like the album award, yes, but Way Too Sexy too, he probably believes in that, but he probably should have got nominated for more. If you're going to put Way Too Sexy in, then he definitely should have got nominated for more, but Way Too Sexy is trash. But he probably looked at the nominations and all that stuff, probably looked at somebody that he felt should have been nominated for something more as well. Like, oh, he ain't get put forth. What's the point? I don't feel as though I need to get a Grammy. Why do I need to get a Grammy? None of that matters to me at this point. So I could go ahead and make some headlines by being the first one to ever withdraw early at the beginning stages of it because I disagree. Like honestly, this may come off as better news for Drake than anything. How Twitter has this one trending all the way. Like, whenever Drake makes any kind of moves, especially moves like this, people going to talk about it. People are going to continue to push Drake forward because Drake is still an impactful artist of this generation, even though it seems like it could be slowing down just a tad based off of the CLB. But he still outdueled Kanye. He still dropped an album that's in competition for a top 5, at least I think. I don't think it'll make it. Well, it's close. Honestly, I think it'll make top 5. It ain't gonna make no top 1. Kanye's not making top 5. Drake dropped some good stuff this year, man. I think it was indicative of a nominee for Album of the Year, not so much a single. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. As I said in the beginning, this is a move that I would do, but I would do it well before I had all of the Grammys and the awards and the money that Drake had. Like, the Grammys have been full of crap for quite some time. They've been full of crap for quite some time to the degree that I would never be nominated for anything anyway. I am well on record for year after year, and you think people don't watch the old stuff? Nah, they do. Oh, they do. But, I mean, I hope that the Grammys can one day evolve, actually involve the youth, actually involve the people, actually involve the streets, and actually involve what these people are listening to. Like, all these analytics that's out here to determine what's the most popular music, what people care about the most. All these analytics clearly mean nothing to these people. If you're not making hip hop into one of the most recognized and celebrated genres of music within your awards, why is it that we gotta have our own little section? We should be dominating the awards, period. Let's keep that 1,000. Record of the year, album of the year, all of these should have been dominated by hip hop, clearly off the numbers. Just off of the numbers of the world is listening to us more than these other genres. But why is it that you're giving Taylor Swift and these other genres all of the awards of these massive joints, and you got to give hip hop its own little section within your awards because, it's not fair for us to put hip hop in. Bruh, we are the biggest music in the world. Hip hop is the biggest music in the world. But it gets shafted left and right all the time. And I'm not trying to, go full Kanye on them. Or maybe I am. Maybe I do. At the end of the day, the Grammys don't mean nothing, man. All it is just them snubbing artists that had a lot of notoriety during the year who actually deserve it, because we the ones who push forward this music culture. Music culture is ours. They just never give the recognition to us for it. Our music, even though, and we talking the worst of our music. All the underground artists that I showcase to you guys on a consistent basis, that I'd be like, yo, trap music is trash. This is why trap music is trash. For those of you who haven't seen that video, you should go ahead and peep that out. Trap music is trash video, where I preview, well, I don't preview, I play full trap songs that are 10 times better than all of the trap records that would possibly get an award, from the Billboard to the Grammys to the Academy. All of these people, they're never going to give awards to the best trap rappers, but they're going to give it to the worst ones who's getting mass promotion, because record labels are backing them and they're paying for these awards. They're paying for everything as they go. You feel me? So the worst of us are dictating where the music industry is. And I'm not saying the worst in terms of these people. Well, in some terms, yes. In some ways, yes. When you look at individuals like Playboy Cardi, who's getting the mass promotion, who's getting pushed out there like that, he is clearly one of the worst of us. But yet, he is driving the culture. The worst of us. What if the whole industry got their heads on right for once? What if this whole industry got their heads on right for once and actually put on and showcased and promoted the best of us? What if Nick Grant actually got the promotion he needed for the best projects that he released, regardless of if it was mainstream or underground? What if these people actually listened to this music and actually gave him the respect that he so deserved, that he so loved? Then the record labels would be forced, to a degree, to go ahead and show love to individual acts that are actually deserving of it, and you would have to sign them, instead of it just being Interscope and Def Jam for real, who are like the only ones who actually will seek out, people who will actually go ahead and seek out individual artists like, yo, these people are good. We need to put them on because we have a legacy, a long-standing legacy of putting out quality artists. And I mean, Roc Nation, who is new to the legacy of it, but Roc Nation, Interscope, Def Jam, that's pretty much the longevity of the places that actually put on the new talent that people don't see coming, that's actually good for the most part in the music industry. Those are the people who actually know what they're doing to a degree, or where they will go ahead and get somebody interesting, but then they will also put out the nonsense. Blueface got put on through Interscope, fam. So even when these places who have longevity in actually putting out quality music, they still put out the worst of us. Like, even though they should know what they're doing, they still actively go out and do the money grabs by putting out the individuals who clearly are not talented enough to have record deals. Well, who's to say who's talented enough to get record deals? Like, there's been plenty of non-talented people who have seen success, who have seen album sales, who have seen a lot of push through the mainstream record labels. There has been a ton of that over the years. You feel me? So who's to say Who's to really make up these rules that you have to be this good in order to get into the game? You have to be this tall in order to ride, like amusement parks. You feel me? Who's to say that this young kid who been in the streets for so long because he has to eat, who's a hustler out here, who says that he's too short to ride on a ride when he's out there risking his life day in and day out? Like, a lot of these rules that people try to put into certain things, it shouldn't apply to everybody. One, two, there's honestly no rules to life. I mean, when you see Rittenhouse get off, clearly there's no rules. When he traffics a gun from state to state that he had it illegally purchased, it's called a straw man purchase, but the judge just throws that out. There's no rules. There's no regulations. There's nothing. You feel me? So therefore, I cannot be super upset with a, say, Playboy Cardi who gets a record deal, who's out there performing, and he brings out a lot of people. Even though these people don't know good music, if it slapped them in the face, these people don't know good music at all, to the point that they're going to boo any and everybody who comes up to this joint. You feel me? They're going to boo any and everybody who's not Playboy Cardi at these spots if you do anything slightly different than the trash music that they are used to this point. You understand? Like, and even though I'm not a huge fan of, what's her name? Let me get her name right quick. Hold up. If this joint will load up. But the chick that's getting booed left out. Rico Nasty. I'm not a huge fan of Rico Nasty and her music. Playboy Cardi's. She at least is inspired to do something creative and something unique. But yet, who's making the money of that tour? Who's the headliner of that tour? Who's the person that everybody's coming out to see? Playboy Cardi. So therefore, could win a Grammy Award and all that stuff, man. Take it with a grain of salt. It's something that I was learned when I was back in school, but the music business is like 10% music, 90% business. Like, the business, if you can be promoted, you can get put on in the game. And it just so happens when individuals drop crazy trash music but yet have a crazy following, they can get promoted. So therefore, they're providing the 90% of what the music business is all about. If you have the 10% great music and you get the promotion on top of it, then you get individuals like Anderson .Paak. You get the individuals like Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic, best album of the year, best singles of the year. You get that. But so many of these labels are so focused on, yo, we need to put on whatever is cracking on Instagram. Whoever's getting the most subscriptions, most views on Instagram, even if these views and subscriptions sometimes are illegitimate. Sometimes these waves that go on, they're not about the music. Like, take the Hot Girl Summer whole wave that happened. That wasn't necessarily about how great of the music there was being jumped. That was more about Megan Thee Stallion is making music to represent the thought empire. Stand up for and defend no matter how good or bad it is. People, the music critics and people who actually enjoy music for a living, not too big on. I'm not saying that we music critics are always right. We're not. In a lot of cases, we're wrong. Things will have to grow on us from time to time. We don't give everybody the best chance to get to where they, like, a lot of music critics like go like Needle Drop and all these other joints. Why aren't they going out of their way to help promote underground acts? Why aren't they trying to change the ecosystem of the music industry? Because they're just chasing after the money just as much as the record labels are chasing after the money. Let's keep it 1,000. Like, and that's what's shocking. That's why everybody is trying to be so shocked about Drake withdrawing this, because so much money can be made from him winning all of this, but yet he doesn't need the money. But yet the greed of people within the game, the greed of people who've been doing this for quite some time, the greed is always going to be ridiculous. So therefore, people are frustrated that Drake would say, you know what, I don't rock with the Grammys. I've never rocked with the Grammys. I haven't rocked with the Grammys for so long. They cut off my mic. They won't let me speak what's actually on my mind when you're supposed to have the microphone to say whatever's on your mind, good or bad, regardless of if it's positive or negative towards them. It's called freedom of speech. If y'all feel some kind of way about how people were saying things, y'all putting so many emotions and y'all get caught up in y'all feelings, y'all don't need to be putting on award shows. You feel me? Like, the branding of the Grammy Awards is not going anywhere. So why are you trying to silence people who go up there and say negative things about the Grammys? People been saying negative things about the Grammys for a long time, and that's never going to stop. But when you see them get into their feelings on cutting your microphone, and he's the top artist that you kind of have to show credit, you kind of have to show love and give credit to, then I'm not surprised that Drake would not rock with them at all. Honestly, is there for Drake to create his own. Wouldn't you agree? Don't you agree that them making an enemy out of Drake is maybe the wrong one to do? That Drake would have the actual money and the influence enough for, you know what? I can do my own. Just not tie my name to it. I can just set it up and put the right people in the position to do it. And I just make it luxurious, like how he makes everything that he does luxurious, instead of doing like some ratchet, scandalous awards like the BET Awards, the Hip Hop Awards will do. Actually make a true competitor, but yet from the actual core, from the actual bottom of people who actually knows what good music is from every aspect of it, to actually show the love and respect to anybody. Drake would be the one to do that now, wouldn't he? Why? Because he got the money, power, influence to do anything that he wants to do, regardless of how you feel about it. And he's a super spiteful person, wouldn't you agree? Just based off of this entire year, how he dedicated the CLB album, how he got how he was plugged in to when Kanye was going to release his album, because he knows Kanye's boss. See, he knows Kanye's boss. So therefore, when Kanye has a drop date, the boss is going to come out and give him, so like, yeah, I'm going to drop my album right when you drop it, so you can't run from this L. And there's no backing out of this. These types of connections, this type of notoriety, and this kind of pettiness that Drake has Would it shock any of us if Drake makes... Now, the problem with it will become the same problem that we see with the Grammy. Like, his impact, well, Drake being Drake and how he feels about certain things, he's going to have a certain amount of sway if he were to create his own. So therefore, even if he doesn't believe in what's going on in these streets, if he doesn't believe in what these new artists and individuals are doing, if he doesn't believe per se in all of this other stuff, then it'll fade into relevance. It will fade its relevancy just like how the Grammys do, because they don't believe in nobody no more. They actually too old to actually care and all of that. They run their course. They could care less. But Drake, you would care too much. There has to be a fine line. Whoever does decide to make a true competitor to the Grammys, like, I can see getting the backing from Drake and individuals who make the money to actually do this, because these things cost to make the awards, to actually do the promotion for the show, to actually get it on TV, to actually promote the show on TV in order for people to see it, or promote it on the internet, or however you go about it. To get your sponsorships and all of this, however they want to go about this. It ultimately does cost. But yet, they can get the money, but yet they have to put individuals like myself, I guess. And I'm not trying to boost myself up, but I'm sure there are others who are not, who actually know what they're talking about, who cannot be swayed, who actually follow the music from day in and day out. But who else to the forefront every day, putting in the work, showing you the work, showing you all the people that I listen to? Like, who else but me? But individuals like me, doesn't have to be me. It is what it is. Individuals like me, because I know there's more than one of me out there. Actually, one of my boys from Twitter, what's his? I'ma shout him out. Hold up. My boy at Twitter, Rap Battle United. He focuses in on rap battles. Everything there is to know about rap battles. I don't focus in on rap battles because there's so much going on in just the normal hip hop industry, and that's like its own universe that's so big that you have to be in on it all the time, buying the pay-per-views, focused in, spending hours upon hours. But Rap Battle United, he could be one that's within the new Grammy Awards of giving people the awards for what they do, because when you look at the Grammys, they don't even show love to the battle rap scene, where the battle rap scene is doing what it needs to do in order to be successful. Therein lies how outdated and how little they actually are focused in on where the culture is going and the culture is moving. You feel me? But that's all I wanted to say for today, man. We carrying on for a little bit. But to sum it all up, we have no idea why Drake is withdrawing these Grammy nominations, bro. We have no idea. Could be the Astro World thing. He's trying to lay low, but he can't lay low because the streets is tying his hands up to go ahead and perform with Kanye. Or it could be that he just don't rock with the Grammys at all, and he got enough money that he doesn't have to. He's big enough that he doesn't have to rock with these people. But that's all it is for today's show, man. I'm actually kind of cool with it. I'm cool with it either which way because I'm not watching the Grammys. But if you made it this far, man, feel free to hit a like, subscribe, leave a comment, man. I try to leave comments for everybody that leave one for me. I try to do a show like this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly Thursday. But Thursdays are usually the mixtape or album reviews. This last week I did the post show of the Versus Battle, which that was pretty dope. Maybe Fridays, depending on what's happening. Weekends, I'm usually a little too busy. But I appreciate everybody that came through. Show love, man. We're going to continue to keep it pushing. Hope everybody have a good night tonight. I'll probably be right back with some Street Fighter in maybe an hour or so. I don't know. But you guys, y'all keep it easy.